Hey, it's your girl Gretchen. In today's conversation about narcissistic abuse, I wanted to introduce you to a new vocabulary word. It's called supply. And that's what we are. We're their supply. So far in our conversations about narcissism, it's been general and it applies to all kinds of relationships with a narcissist. As we've talked about different manipulation tools, those are simply manipulation tools and they can definitely be used outside of narcissism, although you'll for sure see them woven in when you're dealing with one. In the case of supply, I think it's important to designate that this is for a romantic relationship. All narcissists need supply, but my experience was with a romantic partner, and what I'm about to describe, I think really only applies in that case because it wouldn't make sense in a parent-child relationship, probably not so much in a boss-subordinate relationship at work. So I just wanted to explain that. So supply is what makes them tick. So I don't know that I've mentioned this before, but depending on the statistics that you find, 1 in 30 to 1 in 25 people have narcissistic personality disorder. So they're all around us. We just don't always see the behavior because we're not their supply. They pick like one person to target. And then in the case of a romantic relationship, here's kind of the roadmap for how that works. You will never leave a narcissist. If you're done with a relationship, which is probably inevitable because they were never trying to meet your needs and they're not the real person that they present themselves to be, so they can't hold that up forever. When you're ready to leave a narcissist, they are going to love bomb you and make promises and draw you back in. You cannot leave them. They will draw you back in so that they can leave you, which is for sure what happened to me. But the other piece of it is that they will never leave you until they have their new supply identified, which I cannot believe I didn't piece this together on my own. Obviously, in the years that I was with my ex-husband, we would talk about past relationships. We didn't like sit down and lay it all out chronologically. But when I was studying narcissistic abuse and I learned this, that they don't leave one until they have the next one lined up, I put his relationships back in chronological order and I was like, oh my God. So this is what it looked like. He was married before me. When that marriage was ending, when he was ready to end that marriage, he was in communication with a girlfriend from high school and they were both going to leave their spouses and get back together. He left his wife. She didn't hold up her end of the bargain. So instead of spending time alone and healing and meeting a fresh person and starting a new relationship from the ground up, he got with a girl that he was roommates with in college. That's who he was dating when he met me. I didn't think too much of it because I met him as a customer and I got to know him before any romance crept into the picture. So I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. And then it just seemed like something that was ending on its own. And then it felt to me like we got together kind of organically. I don't feel that way now. And then when he left me, about 5 months or so after he left me, I pieced together who he was seeing, and it was someone he already knew. And in talking with other people, like his friends, I learned that they'd been seeing each other quite a bit longer than I realized, and it sounds like there was actually some overlap. And I just, like I said, I could not believe it when I learned this and I was able to piece it back together. So look out for this. If you're with a narcissist, piece their story back together in chronological order and see if that's not exactly what they do every time. And then I'm not going to warn you to be on the lookout for getting cheated on because that's really not the point. The point is that you're being abused. And if you can just get out and stay out, that's better for you than anything.